We'll be looking at part 3 of the Federalist Papers, number 16. Again, we'll look at the map of the colonies on the eve of the revolution, right when the revolution was going to start. This was 1775. These are the colonies right here, okay? From here all the way up to here. And to give you another picture of it, the yellow highlighted area in this area is where all the colonies were and where the soon-to-be 13 states were. And look at how huge the United States will become. I've shown you this in the past couple of videos or in some of the other videos just to emphasize again the importance of the vastness of this whole area and the amount of land that was available to Americans, and how important that is in shaping America's history. You have to always keep that in mind. All right, now let me show you this. According to the Constitution of the United States that was written in the Philadelphia Convention, as soon as 9 states ratified the Constitution, accepted it, the Union will be in effect. In other words, those 9 states would start what would become United States, the United States. It happened to be that New Hampshire, state of New Hampshire, was the 9th state to ratify. So the Constitution took effect when New Hampshire ratified the Constitution, but you had to wait for important states like Virginia and New York to ratify, because those were 2 of the most important states. Very populous, very important. And notice the dates. New Hampshire ratified on June 21st, 1788. Virginia, June 25th, 1788. And New York on July 26th, 1788. The reason I have these dates in front of you is because Alexander Hamilton, who was in New York in their ratifying convention, was hoping to hear that 9 states had ratified the Constitution. This way he could tell the New Yorkers, hey, the Union has started, we better join as soon as we can. So Alexander Hamilton, out of his own pocket, had given money to 2 carriers. These are people at the time that would ride the fastest horses to get the news from New Hampshire to New York. Now look at this enlarged map, okay? This is New Hampshire right here, okay? And this is New York, pretty much next to it. Very close. It took the news 3 days on horseback to get from New Hampshire to Poughkeepsie, New York. 3 days. Nowadays, in 3 days, a person can go to all the continents of the world in 3 days. We can send news from one part of the world to the other within seconds. We can let our voices be heard, pictures to be sent, videos to be sent. Our world has totally changed. The situation has totally changed. We can't stick to the old plans. We can't live under the old rules because some of them are out of date. If we want peace and prosperity for the world, instead of having a system like United Nations which as you can see is helpless, cannot do anything. Some parts of it are good, but when it comes to ensure peace, to ensure prosperity, it is not doing anything. That's why we need a federal system to unite the world. That's why we're studying these Federalist Papers. And that is why it's so important for us to remember that the systems, the international system that we live under is 400 years old. It's from the Westphalian systems where countries can do anything they want to within their lands. Look at Myanmar right now, what they're doing to their Muslim population. Look at Yemen. People are dying left and right because one country is bombing them, and these people are dying of cholera, hunger. Look at the chaos in Syria, Libya, and this is going to spread. On top of that, we're going to have climate issues to deal with. And most importantly, we are not giving human beings a chance to live up their potentials. You have to kind of stop this tribalism, and that's why we're working on this project. So I had to go on a tangent to show you this issue is very important. We better be serious about it. I know it's going to take 2-3 generations, but I think it's best to talk about it now. So now we return to part 3 of Federalist number 16. This will be in middle of the 3rd paragraph. And remember, Hamilton was saying that if we do not unite and we stay confederation, what will happen is you will have confederacies being built because some people are ambitious and they want to have power in one area of these 13 states because they know they probably cannot get a great position in the 13 states. So they will do whatever they can to stop this union from taking shape. Even if it takes shape under a confederacy, there's very good chance that different parts of it will go to war with one another. And he says that is crazy. That's why we should not have a weak confederation. And he brought the examples of Lycia, Achaean League, and those are some of the better ones. When we get to Federalist 18, 19, and 20, him and Madison will be talking about all these other confederacies that unfortunately were weak and were destroyed either by civil war or by a stronger power taking over them. So here he says the same thing. He says there will be some ambitious men that will pit one side against the other, or if associates could not be found at home, recourse would be had to the aid of foreign powers, who would seldom be disinclined to encourage the dissensions of a confederacy from the firm union of which they had so much to fear. So this ambitious person in one part of the confederacy will decide to ally himself with one of the outside powers, with one of the European powers, and the European powers, because they don't want to see our system of republican form of government succeed. They want a weak country where we are division amongst us. They will help that side to divide all of us and ruin all of us. When the sword is once drawn, the passions of men observe no bounds of moderation. When you start a war, when the swords are drawn, then people's emotions blindness gets in the way, and there's no way of stopping it. The suggestions of wounded pride, the instigations of irritated resentment, would be apt to carry the states against which the arms of the Union were exerted to any extremes necessary to avenge the affront or to avoid the disgrace of submission. So when the war starts, because of passions, because of emotions, because of hatred, because of a host of things, when you have killed somebody's brother, parents, they are not going to all of a sudden stop the war. They want to avenge. They want to come after you for doing that. And this cycle